What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Just taking a quick break from work because I've had a number of people hit me up regarding this article on NintendoLife, questioning the truth and validity behind it. Now, after doing some more research on it, the title is actually straight up clickbait. It's not really true, and that's something that I'm very familiar with on this platform. Clickbait is kind of how it works on YouTube, and NintendoLife has been known to do it as well from time to time. So the article talks about in Japan, you can go to these stores and there are just so many Wiis out there and there's just not room in people's houses, so they've all just sold them, and the total amount of these Wiis is just so huge that the stores have to just basically give them away to anybody because they just have so many of them. That's not necessarily the case, as we'll see here, but let's go through the article just to describe what they're talking about first. The Wii and DS, phenomenally successful consoles selling 250 million units. They talk about how there's so many of them decade down the line that the software's dried up and the demand for it's completely dried up. And the situation in Japan finds itself, one Japanese shopper snapped these images inside a trade-in store which shows Nintendo DS consoles selling for 100 yen, that's around $1, or 75 pence if you're in the UK, PS2 consoles selling for 200 yen, $1.86, while a second-hand Wii will set you back 50 yen, about 46 cents. All of those prices subject to sales tax, which makes them slightly higher but not by much. So here are the pictures in Japan, eGads, and then the prices for them. Old consoles being sold for much less than their original retail value isn't big news, of course, but these prices are still a little on the insane side. Surely a Wii offers enough entertainment value to be worth more than 50 cents. Or perhaps the issue is that there are so many of these systems clogging up stores that they literally have no option but to drop them to a stupid price in order to shift them. How many DS consoles would you buy if they only cost $1 at your local game store? So this is the article from NintendoLife with literally zero research done behind it and just saying, look, if you live in Japan, you can get these consoles for this cheap. This is a secondhand store selling consoles that are broken. None of these consoles work as intended. That's why they're giving them away for such low prices. They're not functional systems. They're basically scrap that people can use to put together or make pieces and parts put together on other Wii consoles to make them work. They're not functional systems. They're not guaranteed to work. Most of them are broken. Are they still good prices? Yeah, they're cheap, but they're not functional. That is the biggest piece of information missing from this hardcore clickbait title from NintendoLife. And just to prove it to you, let's dive into some more details here to show it. The comment section is people falling for it, like, oh my god, I gotta go to Japan. This is so cheap. I would buy 3 of these. I'd buy all these. This is such a great deal. None of them seem to realize the truth behind this. Now, Go Nintendo Tweet also fell for this as well with their story at Go Nintendo Tweet Stories, where they talk about Wii and DS systems being sold in Japan for less than $1. Less than 1/500th of the original MSRP. But nothing in here says anything about them being broken. Nobody does their research when it comes to journalism anymore. Exchanging pocket change for revolutionary video game systems concept Japan's reality, likely to clear shelf space due to an overabundance of trade-ins. One Japanese store is selling used Nintendo Wii, DS, and Sony PlayStation consoles for the amount of money that can be likely found under a couch. None of these stories say anything about the truth that these are broken systems. That is a big deal. Yeah, it's still cheap, but the system is not functional. So it's not like you can go buy 500 of these and then just resell them in America, not to mention they're system locked anyway, but you might be able to fix some of them if you're really techie and hardcore into the modding scene. There might be some things you can do with some of these, but there's still work that you have to put into them to make them useful. So this is where the tweets actually originated from, this guy Kemp talking about it, and if you translate it, I come here every week, but I feel a little overkill, prestige. So this doesn't say anything about the systems being broken or anything like that, unless you can read Japanese and what the signs actually say, which I can't do, but I've done a little bit more research and can tell you from this tweet here, Alex Quarantine Finally Over, this is a tweet they refer to. Unfortunately, they are on the junk section. This is the Japanese listing right there, the words, which means that most probably those consoles don't work and are sold only for their spare parts. That is a big note that has been missing from these stories, where everybody's been freaking out about, oh my god, Wii's are 50 cents in Japan! I mean, if it's broken in America, you're not gonna sell it for 50 cents probably, but you're not gonna get much more than that for a Wii. I mean, a functional Wii in America goes for, I've seen them at thrift stores for 20 bucks or less. So if it's not functional, wouldn't imagine it being much over 4 or 5 bucks for it, assuming you even find the right person for it. There's a lot of Wiis out there. They sold over 100 million of them. There are Wiis everywhere, and a lot of people upgraded to the Wii U, not that many, but most are upgrading to the Switch now, and this is becoming old tech, and people don't want to just have them in their house. They're not like me, where they just stock every system they ever bought. They actually sell them and move on to a new console, and supply and demand takes over, and there you have getting an incredible system for basically nothing. So I'd like to think that these news outlets would take a little bit more time in researching. I mean, I've not been perfect either, but I wanted to clarify something that I found here because I feel like it's misleading an awful lot of people. No, you cannot buy a working Wii system in Japan for under 50 cents. But yes, you can buy them at secondhand thrift stores with broken for spare parts for under 50 cents. Just something you should probably know when making an article like this. I'm going to leave the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.